Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Food for the Faithful channel with me, Bill Reimer, your ever so reluctant prophet. Today we're going to discuss narcissism. In today's blog and its associated vodcast, I aim to discuss narcissism and its profound influence on who will choose to run for political office and for whom we choose to vote. Pathological narcissism is the single greatest reason that we are facing a crisis of conscience in the West, due to leaders who are prideful and utterly tone deaf to the voices of those who entrusted them with the responsibility to govern. First of all, narcissism and emotional insecurity go hand in hand, which is why codependents and narcissists often end locked up in an unending cycle of dysfunction. This explains in large part why Trudeau acting tough has caused a resurgence of popularity among the codependent Canadian populace who are locked up into the very cycle of dysfunction that I just mentioned. Narcissists naturally detest self-actualized individuals. This is the reason that those who are of us who are independent-minded are labeled as fascist and Nazis by the codependent horde who allow the government and the Fourth Estate to do their thinking for them. While to the narcissist, relationships are about dominance, power, and control. The narcissist's only frame of reference is their own. Since our opinions do not matter to them and cannot possibly enter the equation of the power dynamic they invariably employ, I will remind you that a few days prior to the gathering of the truckers at the Freedom Convoy here in Ottawa in 2022, folks who had traveled over half of Canada in midwinter from both directions to express their concerns and feelings in a peaceful protest, Trudeau shoved them to the margins, declaring them a fringe and their views unacceptable. So these are the methods by which we are currently being governed without parliamentary oversight. And these methods must be understood in order for us to counter them. There are decided advantages of being a free-thinking, heterodox person. This isn't a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Rather, it is government by the blob, for the blob, of the blob. The blob consists of a political and bureaucratic class who march in unthinking lockstep. Those governing us are utterly tone deaf to our legitimate concerns due to their narcissism and pathological hubris. So let's examine what narcissism is and how it operates. Narcissism is a personality trait characterized by a pattern of self-centeredness and an excessive focus on one's own needs and desires. Some common traits associated with narcissism include 1. Grandiosity, a sense of superiority and entitlement, often believing they are special or unique. Need for admiration, number 2, a constant craving for admiration, attention, and validation from others. 3, lack of empathy, difficulty understanding or empathizing with the feelings and needs of others. 4, manipulative behavior, a tendency to manipulate and exploit others to achieve personal goals. 5, arrogance, a belief in one's own superiority and a tendency to look down on others. 6, fragile self-esteem, despite outward confidence. Narcissists often have fragile self-esteem and can be highly sensitive to criticism. 7, envy and competition, a strong inclination to envy others and view them as rivals. 8, difficulty in maintaining relationships. Narcissists often struggle to maintain healthy, long-term relationships due to their self-centeredness and lack of empathy. 9. Inability to take responsibility. They may avoid taking responsibility for their actions and instead blame others for their problems. 10. Impulsivity. Engaging in impulsive and risky behaviors without considering the consequences. This reads like Trudeau's curriculum vitae. And it also pretty much explains Trump. Pathological narcissists will seek relationships with individuals, or in our case, voters, who can serve their emotional needs and ego. They are attracted to people who can provide them with admiration, validation, and a sense of superiority. Here are some types of people pathological narcissists may be drawn to. 1. Empathetic and caring individuals. Narcissists often target empathetic and caring individuals who are more likely to tolerate their self-centered behavior and provide the attention and validation they crave. 2. People with low self-esteem. Individuals with low self-esteem may be vulnerable to the charm and charisma of a narcissist. The narcissist can also use this vulnerability to gain control and manipulate the person. 3. Codependent individuals. Codependent individuals tend to prioritize the needs of others over their own, which can make them easy targets for narcissists who exploit this dynamic to meet their own needs. 4. Successful or well-connected individuals. Narcissists may be attracted to individuals who are successful, wealthy, or well-connected, as associating with such people can enhance the narcissist's own self-image. 5. Those who idealize them. Narcissists prefer relationships where they are idealized and put on a pedestal. They seek individuals who view them as perfect and infallible. 6. Enablers. Some individuals are willing to enable the narcissist's behavior by tolerating their manipulation and accepting their excuses, allowing the narcissist to continue their self-serving actions. 5 and 6 here are literally define Trudeau. It has been said, even in the Fourth Estate, that this is no longer government, with the LPC being the governing party, but rather it's government by Trudeau and Trudeau alone. There is no party other than Trudeau. It is important to note that narcissists are highly skilled at identifying and targeting individuals and voting demographics who will fulfill their needs, and they often employ charm and manipulation to establish and maintain these relationships. Such relationships can be emotionally damaging for the person, and again, in our case, the nation involved, as they may experience emotional abuse, manipulation, and a lack of reciprocity in the relationship, and socioeconomic ruin, as Canada goes toe-to-toe with Trump in an unwinnable trade war that cannot possibly serve the citizens of either America or Canada. Narcissist against narcissist, where both are looking to feed their egos rather than feeding the nations, their own nations, with affordable food. 9 insidious ways narcissists try to control you, and how to sidestep narcissistic manipulation and gaslighting. Narcissistic people often use a range of covert and overt tactics to manipulate others. As you read through the following list of 8 devious tactics, in my case 9, I've added 1 to this list. Let me correct that. 9 devious tactics. You may wish to think of a narcissist in your life and identify if any of these tactics may have been used on you. Projecting. Narcissists have a habit of accusing others of doing what, in fact, the narcissist is doing, you Nazi. For example, narcissists who frequently lie will accuse you of being untrustworthy. Unreliable narcissists will claim that you are undependable and have let them down. Rageful narcissists will say that you're the one who needs anger management. Narcissists tend to be unaware of such hypocrisies. They accuse in an instant, then become convinced of their accusations. Projecting allows them to avoid responsibility for their dysfunctional behavior while putting others on the defensive. Haven't I had that in my home? 2. Telling you your reality. Many narcissists believe they have special insight into others and feel justified in naming others' reality. They may say such things as, "I know you better than you know yourself." By labeling others' thoughts, feelings, and motivations, narcissists seek to gain an upper hand by making others doubt themselves. Badgering. Number 3. Narcissists feel entitled to get what they want by any means necessary. As a result, they may endlessly badger others with demands, questions, and opinions. They may pressure you to give immediate answers or make instant decisions. They repeat lies as if doing so makes it true. They won't listen to other viewpoints and may get furious at questions or dissent. Narcissists often fail to recognize how much they offend others. If they do recognize it, they either don't care or may even take delight in doing so. Narcissists have found, in many cases, other people will become exhausted and give in. For them, the mission is accomplished. Infantilizing. Narcissists may talk down on others or use a tone of voice that a parent might use on a child. They may treat others as possessing lesser intelligence or having fewer rights. Demeaning others makes narcissists feel superior. 5. Minimizing. Narcissists systemically minimize anything that makes them look or feel bad. They make excuses for their bad behavior by blaming others. They may deny outright that they have done anything destructive. Narcissists know that minimizing and stonewalling is hard for others to fight. Their minimizing reveals a double standard. When a narcissist insults or hurts another person, they hardly give it a second thought. But when a narcissist feels slighted, it can feel like the end of the world to them. Going nuclear. Hiroshima! Narcissists are generally not adept at containing their strongest impulses or feelings. They feel free to throw tantrums, call names, or make a scene. Their larger-than-life feelings and reactions make them feel powerful and discharge uncomfortable feelings or thoughts. Once again, it puts others on the defensive. 7. Shaming. Narcissists carry enormous shame. Though this shame is generally outside their own awareness. As a result, they tend to discharge their unpleasant feelings on those around them. They may question others' legitimacy. They may chide others for less than perfect performance or rub a failure in another's face. They have a knack for knocking others down a peg. The result, they feel one up. In addition, the recipient of their shaming may feel they have to defend or explain themselves, which often gives narcissists additional ammunition for more shaming. Flattering. Narcissists love to be complimented and thus believe that others also eat up praise. Sometimes they flatter as a way to induce you to respond in kind. They may try to stroke your ego to get something they want from you or to create dependency. Or they may pour on false flattery to diffuse any attempts by others to hold the narcissist accountable for their negative behaviors. Personality disorders are designed to hide or distract from an individual's greatest emotional and psychological vulnerabilities. Narcissists' most dreaded experience include feeling humiliated, inferior, or illegitimate. And 9, the final one, perhaps the culminating one in our case, political control. So I quote from one of my favorite tomes describing social collectivism, From Manipulism and the Weapon of Guilt, Collectivism Exposed by Mikhail Clare-Nissen. Now we find they use orchestrated, designed, and calculated psychological coercion, subliminal conditioning that utilizes the weapon of guilt and enticement. Coercion is accomplished by means that are identical to the methods commonly known as Machiavellian egocentricity, which is described in psychology as the elusive ability to manipulate, subdue, and control others in order to achieve personal ends and desires. This results in weakening the general society, and even worse, further weakening society's emotionally weakest citizens, the codependent collectivists. Conversely, this emotional weakness empowers the radical collectivist part of society even further. The more depraved the collectivist is, and therefore the more manipulative and malignant, the stronger the collectivist. These 9 tactics are designed to protect the narcissist from confronting reality they fear through self-inflation, always at others' expense, and in our case, our poor nation. For example, narcissists tend to play a win-lose game rather than to seek for win-win solutions. They seek superiority to gain the upper hand, rather than to seek for equitable solutions that serve both interests. They value appearance more than substance, and they convince and coerce others rather than deal with them honestly. So my conclusions, brethren: the 7 deadly sins refers to behaviors and habits that are considered among the most cardinal vices under Christian teachings. Ironically, the 7 deadly sins do not appear explicitly in the scriptures. However, each of these vices gives ample mention throughout the Bible and other religious books, albeit individually. Also known as the capital vices or cardinal sins, the 7 deadly sins are believed to give birth to other forms of immoralities. They include pride, starting with pride, greed, wrath, lust, envy, gluttony, and sloth. These 7 deadly sins stand in sharp contrast to the 7 heavenly virtues of prudence, justice, temperance, courage, faith, and hope. And charity. We are governed by a cadre of narcissists who exhibit all of the former and none of the latter. Their abuse of power and the injustice resulting. Leaders are called to govern with justice and integrity. When they abuse their power and act unjustly, they not only harm others, but also dishonor God's design for leadership. I'll quote 3 scriptures. Proverbs 29, verse 2. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in power, they groan. Isaiah 10, verses 1 to 2. What sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. They deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 8. Don't be surprised if you see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful, and if justice is being miscarried throughout the land. For every official is under orders from higher up, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. And Canada has a grossly metastasizing bureaucracy. One must wonder who has greater power, our elected officials or the bureaucrats they've appointed to create regulation upon regulation that's choking the lifeblood out of this nation. These are things to think and pray about on this March the 6th. God bless you all. You have a lovely afternoon.